Let's talk about quarter one updates, successes, and flops. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Estella, and I am so thankful that you are here with me, that you continue to watch the channel. And I know it's been a long time. I've just been taking this year very slow, trying to figure out just a lot of things in direction of content and really just taking this time for myself. There is a lot happening behind the scenes, and I just really needed time to kind of reflect, play, and enjoy the hobby of journaling. So recently I got asked a question like, why do you have three planners and you're writing the same thing over and over? So I did answer it and say part of the beautiful thing about this hobby is that you basically get planners. You buy planners, you use planners, you incorporate those planners into your life, and it gives you options to planner hop. I know some people really want to stay in one system for the entire year and that is their goal, while for some it's overwhelming, while for others they do try as much as possible to stay in a system and then they feel like their needs change or something happens or they're overanalyzing what they are using and they need something that doesn't take as much time because their time is limited or because they have a busy lifestyle. So there are so many different reasons why people try to buy planners, and my main reason for staying in the system that I wanted to stay in was because of a low buy. I did not want to spend money where I don't need to spend money. I'm really trying to just really make sure whatever money I'm spending is going towards something I can really enjoy, towards something that my family needs. And right now, we all know that people are just really focusing on expenses and buying what is necessary, what they really want to buy, and at times what brings them joy. And that is okay. So, journaling doesn't have to happen in one book, journaling doesn't have to happen in one system, journaling doesn't have to happen in one specific way. Whatever way you journal or plan or write, that is your specific way of doing things. And whatever you do, I'm here to support it. I know that some people may have colorful thoughts regarding these changes, like, oh my goodness, it's another change. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing another planner. Oh my goodness. But what I want to do is really just be open and honest and really share my journey throughout this year. And that's why it's taken me longer to kind of record these videos, because this is more of intentional planning and journaling and really focusing on what is going to serve me, my purpose, and what I really want to accomplish in the year, right? Because every year my goal is to have a place to kind of look back on what is happening or what has happened in my life and reflect and have these memories, these core memories. But I also need something that can maintain my schedule, my appointments. And we're going to talk about that. So there are obviously two books that are new in the system that you are going to see. I am holding them up in my hand. They're both Nolty planners, journals, whatever you want to use them as, basically, because these books right here give you an option to actually do both if you want to, or it gives you an option to journal, write notes, and really make sure that you have all these things. So we are going to talk about these two in a minute, and I'm going to explain what I'm going to use these for, how things are going to change or evolve. Okay, this book right here, I have been using her. At first, we were going very strong. But what I noticed is that I started getting, again, overwhelmed with maintaining the schedule, kind of decorating the side. And part of that was because I keep on seeing on Instagram how other people use their planners. Now, I love how they use their planners, right? It's very inspirational. It's very moving. You get to see how other people kind of write out their entire weekly plans. But at the same time, I also noticed that they're probably using one book maybe for everything, right? Maybe they're using this Hobonichi Weeks to write down their appointments, their main events, their task specific list, and then using it to journal and then use the back for notes. As more time kind of progressed in using this planner, I started noticing that I was getting less enthusiastic. Like when it came down to the monthlies, I also was, oh, I have to decorate the monthly. It's like, why do I feel the need to decorate it? It's becoming, a little overwhelming for me. I do love decorating it. I'm not saying I don't, but what I do find is that for me, this is not bringing me as much joy as I thought it would for the year. I'm like not like I like looking at it because aesthetically it's very pretty to look at, right? It's very nice looking when I opened it, and it's something that I still have been keeping up with. So even if it looks like I am not planning in it, that's opposite. Actually, I am very much planning in this planner. I am very much using this planner. I am just not using it how I was in the beginning of the year. And that's okay. But then I started noticing, okay, so if I'm not really utilizing all this retail space, do I really need this planner size? Because another thing is in my purse, it just goes in my purse. Yes, this can fit in my purse. It's really great, but at the same time, it's not exactly what I would call like a pocket planner. Like if I have another smaller purse, I have to kind of make room for it because it is a longer planner, whereas this is a shorter planner. So this can pretty much fit anywhere. This, I have to be specific about where or what purse I use it in. So that's just the case. Like I like looking at it. I still keep it updated because part of planner hopping is you kind of change your mind on what you use and you start using one thing and then you're like, oh, I'm going to use something else. And then lo and behold, you end up going back to using what you originally had and then you got to backfill. So my purpose is, okay, I'm just going to kind of use it and fill it up with just the essential information that I need and make sure I have something here. So I don't know if I'm actually going to get it next year. Same for this book. I don't know. If book is going to be like $80, I'm not going to buy this planner for $80. I'm not. It's already expensive at 50 or $60, I believe, close to $60. And then for shipping, right? If you order from Japan, you pay for shipping. So I don't exactly know what's going to happen in terms of pricing. Another thing that concerned me is the paper quality, the inconsistency with the ink. And it's something I have not seen this in this one, but I have seen it in the Cousin. And also with this one, I have not seen it as well. So I've only seen it in this planner, but just because it's only been in this planner doesn't mean that other people have not been impacted with the paper quality issue in either of these books, okay? So this book here, this is the one I go to every single morning. Every single day I am in this planner. In the beginning of the year, this is where I noticed like it started smudging and it looks like it's fountain ink bleeding. And that's what I've noticed with certain pages. And this is what I mean with inconsistencies. Like if you're not fully like looking at my journal in depth, looking at it, you won't be able to tell. I can tell by looking at it. Like there's some pages where the ink is spreading, and this is happening weeks after I am writing in these pages. So it doesn't necessarily happen right away, but it starts spreading the ink and it looks a little weird. So it's this is what I'm noticing with certain pages. Not all pages are doing this. Okay? So that's where the inconsistency comes in. And there are some pages and spreads that are great. And what I love is that this is a log. It's basically, kind of I'm keeping track of what is going on during the day. I pretty much follow a basic routine, and being that I'm a caregiver, there's certain things that I can plan for. There's other things I can't because, you know, appointments are made when they're made, or I have to go pick up my son from school, or there's a school activity I got to do. So every week is pretty much the same, but there are some days that I have to do other things. And what I like about these weekly spreads is that I've been really playing around with just kind of placement of small stickers, placement of ephemera, or some memory and keepsake moments that I really, really want to have in here. And I've been using it, and I like how it looks. I do like this style, and for me, this is pretty much my style. And that's another thing. There's a lot of books that I see that have kind of like similarities in style because they kind of are really inspired by a certain creator. And I really want to step away from that and have like my own little kind of like style. And there's nothing wrong with being inspired by that, but sometimes I feel like, you know, you kind of lose a sense of your personal style or your personal kind of like writing or whatever when you start seeing trends in planning and in journaling. So this right here, if we look at the current chunk, she is chunky. One of the concerns I have is that we're only in April and I'm already having somewhat of a hard time writing in this book. And I do not want to turn the book, like literally I've had suggestions where like, oh, take the page and just turn it on itself and then write. I don't want to do that because it can mess up the book. I'm very much with the whole integrity of keeping the spine intact. I do not want to mess up the spine, and I don't want to do that. You see like all the trouble just to go back. So this is a very chunky book, very loved book. I am in this literally every single day, if not every other day, where I can backfill it. And I have literally, you know, put in some new theme pages here. I read the Legendborn series, love that series. So I put a quote in there. Then I have like, you know, collages in here. I bought a candle from Trader Joe's. It smells so good. It's this candle right here. It's still drying. It's the grapefruit one, but bought that. So I put that there. And then I, you know, wrote about something else. And then I stuck here the Nolty because I was kind of having fun with the Nolty. So one of the things is, if you notice, like right here, it's already getting hard to write. And even when I purposely kind of place ephemera and stickers in different locations, so it's literally not all on the top, not all on the bottom, I still can see the difficulty in kind of like the lump of writing. You know, it really is interesting. I try as much as possible not to have it be top or bottom heavy or middle heavy, but it's still at a place like you can see here, like I have to, you know, use this as a, you know, pencil board. I don't like a pencil board because they're stiff, but I like using thick paper to write. And still, it's still somewhat difficult to write in this because as more time passes, more pages are getting used. And now I'm wondering how, you know, July is going to look. How August or November is going to look when this is all filled. Because right now these are empty pages. But I've seen people's books where they're like this and they have to write. So that is my only concern when it comes to the journaling part of this book, right? That is my concern because it's like, okay, so how am I supposed to, write if it keeps on, you know, kind of being more difficult to write with all the ephemera I'm sticking in? I am going to stay in this book. So no matter what system I am using, I am going to stay in this book. This is the book I am going to try to use throughout the entire year. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to write in it or journal in it by the end of the year, depending on how thick it gets. But the weeklies, I'm going to try to make sure I update. I also have like the books that I'm reading. I'm reading right now Spark of the Everflame and Crime and Punishment. I definitely am going to use this to the end of the year. I'm just hoping I can journal in this till the end of the year, because as you can see, I still have 8 months to go, and this book is already chunky, very chunky, and it's getting hard to write. So that is one thing. This book right here, Current Chunk Check, is also very chunky. And it's the same thing. I am noticing she is having difficulty kind of laying flat. I have to like press down in order to write. I do use this pencil board in here because it does give me a little more of a grip when I press down to write. But I'm also kind of being very observant of where I stick ephemera, where I stick stickers, and how I write things, because I do want to make sure that I have this book here, because I was basically trying to decide for, let's say, you know, I do decide to use the Hobonichi Cousin or the original next year, right? I am trying to figure out which size is best, okay? So what I can tell you is that this one kind of feels like it's a little too small in terms of me writing what I really want to write. Sometimes I have to write like the excess of what I'm thinking in this book, but also this is a very, you know, event-filled year. So I have a lot of thoughts, and I have a lot of opinions, and I have a lot of emotions, and sometimes I need the extra space. So this is sometimes a carryover of what I don't finish here and here. That's pretty much what it's used for. And the only reason I would like to kind of finish using this is I want to see how chunky it gets. It's more like a vanity metric. Just like this one, it's more like of a vanity metric. It's really not, it's functional, but it's not, right? This one's, well, this one's functional. This one's more like a vanity metric, right? If I had to pick one, it would be this one. This size right now, I'm noticing when I decorate it and do what I want to do with it, even though I thought it would be the perfect size, I'm realizing it's smaller than what I need it for. I would like to use it till the end of the year because I want to see how chunky it gets. And again, for vanity metrics. And then I can look back on these and just kind of remember this time period. But I don't really think I will be getting the Techo next year. And I've come to that decision already by using it 3 months every single day. And I've already recognized that. Now, what I will tell you is that I was really trying to see if this little book can fit in here. It can. But it's so small that it's a little roomy. So, you know, an A6 notebook would be great. Like if I wanted to write down notes for writing. I've really been liking my writing journal, and that I don't really show because it's projects that I'm working on. But I do love it. Now, I will tell you this right here. This cover is not meant for a chunky planner at all. This cover will not even close all the way properly, the way I would like it to close, because it's already having difficulty doing that. So I don't even bother to close this. Like I could try, but this is where you see this? This is, yeah. So, this is not meant for a planner that you're going to journal in every day and it's going to get super thick. I think this is more like a good A6 notebook. You know, kind of like something you throw in your purse and you just need to write down notes, or you know, you have an idea or something like that, or you just want to have like a writer's notebook, a commonplace book, and you want to use an A6 notebook. You can. I think it's just good for like a notebook where you just write notes, nothing else but notes, like paper, pen, that's it. So that's that. All right. So now let's talk about the B6 Nolty. I'm going to show you a size comparison. I'm also going to show you a kind of like page comparison. This one comes with 196 pages. Don't quote me. You could look it up on Amazon or any video on YouTube. This is, you know, a lot of pages. This is about, you know, I don't know, like 500 pages, I believe. So there is a very distinct difference in the size. So you could see the size here. You could also see the thickness, top and bottom. Now, what I was thinking about is that, okay, so Nolty is sold by various stationaries in the United States, but also you can purchase it on Amazon if you choose to. The paper is very different. It's not Tomover paper. It's a different kind of paper that is very kind of like smooth, and it does have some grit to it, but it's still smooth. That's the best way I could explain it. I already set up the calendars, and I said, what would this book look like if I used it for basically, you know, calendar purposes, like main events that are happening in my life. And then basically what I am doing with this is writing everything that's happened, right? This is my vision board for the first week. Like this is an April start, by the way. So this starts in April. This is like what I envision now, like reading, journaling, more reading, relaxing with my cat, drinking coffee, and listening to audiobooks, taking a lot of pictures, capturing those moments. This is what I'm doing, right? And then in this page, what I did is basically write down the main events that happened, briefly journaled about this week, you know, and things that I was feeling, reading, doing, and that's exactly what I did. And what I found out is that I do like this because I don't have to focus on writing something every single day, but I could take the main things that emotionally happened, or something that I was watching in media, something that I was reading, and I could write about it, reflect on it, and journal about it. This is like a meme of me being so distracted with my phone, being on Instagram threads and just Instagram, that I deleted it because I felt like I was spending too much time kind of doom scrolling and then comparing, and then really just like, okay, what am I doing with my time? I was wasting time, and I really don't want to do that. So it's not to say that I won't come back. I might come back to Instagram next year. I don't know, but I'm not really worried about that. I can grow my following if I find the right community again. But at this point, it's like I'm doom scrolling on threads and causing more chaos in my mind because I just want to read everything. So on top of that, you know, I've also kind of was like, what is the feel of this? How do I want to use this? There's pages that I've read and underlined, annotated, and I took these pages from books I've actually really enjoyed and put them in my journal because they are a part of me. They are part of what I'm reading. And once you purchase the books, you know, you it's your book. So you know, I've been journaling here, and I really like this. I really have been able to capture what has happened. These are 4 different entries, and I'm able to do that in a week. And what I've observed is that I could capture more information and kind of really write what I want to write about. What I like about this is that you could put 2 main things that are happening, like personal. Let's say you want to use it for personal or work, right? Or personal and appointments. You can do that, or personal and media. You can totally do that, right? And then this right here, the boxes, I'm just going to go into a page that doesn't have like the shadowing, but this right here has boxes where you can write notes, and that's what I really like. And I said, instead of using it like another Hobonichi Cousin, why don't I just journal? And that way I can easily read what happened during the week. So this is where I got the idea of, okay, let me try this. I do want to use it till the end of the year, because if I really do like it, and if I feel that this is functional for me to utilize and to kind of basically use as a journal. And then on top of that, what I love is that they give you an extra notebook, right? this comes with this planner when you buy it. Like, I bought it off Amazon. I'm really on a, like, no kind of spend on Amazon, but I bought it off Amazon, and I said, okay, let me try it. It came with this notebook. So even if you want to write notes or anything else, you can totally commonplace in this little thing. And it also comes with notes in the back. Now, it's not a lot of note pages, but it is a good amount. I'm not going to say it's not. It's a good amount right here. So you still have note pages here. So you can pretty much, you know, do main events here, appointments, personal tasks, work tasks, and then write notes or journal or whatever you want to do on the bottom. I really, really like this spread. It's very functional. For me, it's very functional. Like, I can totally see how functional it is. I can see all my appointments, and I could see like what was happening during the week and how I felt, and it's all in one book. So my goal really is to have like a 2-book system, because unfortunately I can't take this book with me to appointments. They'll look at me like, what is this big book? What is in it? Like, and there are people who are nosy, like, oh, what is that? And it's like, oh, you know, it's my planner. And then people are curious, and it's like, you don't want to open up your entire planner and journal and share it with everybody. So I want to have a system where it's a place that is a 2-book system. And one is basically an appointment book, and the other one is basically my planner / journal, and I could see everything. That's what I really would like. This is what this was supposed to be. I added this because, again, this was always a test of which size would I use? Which size am I going to use for 2026? This has always been a vanity metric, okay? But it was originally going to be like these two here, right? And I'm not saying that they're still not being used. They are, but I'm planner hopping, and I don't really get joy out of this. But this one, when I open it, I even bought a leather cover to put in this, and it matches the exact colors of this. You'll see it when I get it. Even though this is like a pocket size or field note size book, okay? Or a Moleskine monthly planner or weekly planner. I love the Moleskine planner. I really did. So what I really like is the layout is super functional. You can put whatever you need to put on the top, your appointments, then you can write all the notes. You can keep a track of a checklist here. You can keep track of trackers. And this is small enough that if you do want to archive this, I don't know, you could probably fit like a good 10 of these in a box or in a shelf. And it doesn't take up that much space because these books are so small. Same with this, okay? This does not take up as much space as one of these will, okay? So when you look at this, this is very cute and very nice. But at some point, I wonder if people do keep these for years, or if they kind of start removing like the last, you know, maybe they want to keep the last 5 years or the last 10 years, or they just keep their favorites. I don't know how people do this, but for me, it's like also a space issue, because if you know, have an office or a shelf, you can see the difference in spacing, and you can see the difference in what works. So this is, you know, this is a Hobonichi system. This is a Nolty system. And I love that you could stick this in a purse pocket, literally, because it's that small. I did kind of put something in the back here to kind of like, what is it? Inspire me with reading, with writing, with journaling, with having coffee and taking things slow, having a to-do list here. And then what I love is that there's note pages here again. So anything really important, I'm gonna write here. I am gonna backfill it and write it down, but I didn't want to kind of like open it up and just kind of start sharing all these notes. Same thing with the back of my Hobonichi Cousin. I do have notes back there, but I am not going to open them because there is no point. The notes are for me. So this is what I am using. I'm really excited every time I look at this like stack right here, not this. Like this stack right here gets me really excited. I can tackle these no problem. Maybe it takes me about at most 30 minutes a day because I check in this in the morning and see what's happening on Monday for the week, and then I kind of fill in what I need to fill in. This literally gets filled once in the week on a Monday. I put in all the appointments, anything that has to get done during the week, and then basically I sit down and journal in it on a Sunday, and that happens literally once a week. This happens every single day, and I do love her. I have such an attachment to this book. I'm just hoping that she will allow me to kind of journal in her, because she is becoming very thick. And as far as this book goes, I think that depending on how much I love this system, I think I might be switching my system for next year and using a pocket planner to basically write down my appointments, because what I really need is an appointment book and a reminder of what is happening in life. This is small enough to do it. I don't necessarily need this. I think when you're like scrolling on journaling and planning social media, you do get inspired to buy, to use. And you know what I said before in the beginning, you do what you want to do. Do whatever makes you happy. Right now, this is not bringing me joy. It's not getting me excited. I don't want to open it every single day and write in it. I just don't. So I'm being honest. This is vanity. I just want to finish it for the year to see how chunky she gets. But this is definitely not the size I am going to be using. I love that I have A6 covers. I think an A6 notebook is great to have. Like even in the future, if I want to carry this little bad boy in this pocket and have like an A6 notebook in here and then basically close it, I can totally do that, because this planner is so small. I have options. And that is something that I think I will do. Like I have a writer's notebook. I'm using it, and the writer's notebook is so thin. I'm just basically writing in it, writing ideas and using it, and I call it a day. I'm not even like stressing about it. It's just messy handwriting notes. Just with my thoughts and kind of commonplacing and writing, you know, working on ideas. So this, you know, is something that I will maintain. I don't think I'll be getting this next year. And they're also like, this is the leather cover was another $56. So between these two, it's like over $100. And then on top of that, you got to pay for shipping. And who knows how much that's going to be with the tariffs. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I have to be smart. This was very affordable. Regular price, I think, was 38. I got it, or 34, something like that. I got it for like 28. This was like 14 bucks. So these two alone were like 50 bucks, and there you go. So you get my point. Like, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Bullet journals, I love commonplacing my book notes in it, and I have a commonplace book that I will share in another video with just what I'm reading, writing notes, and that is it. Love it for that. Bullet journal, as in terms of planning, not something. I mean, I tried it and then I was like, let me see how this works. Let me see how journaling works in it. Let me see if I want to write down anything in it. And I have it there. She's always going to be there, but I could always open her back up whenever, because it's not dated. So I'm sorry for this very long video, but I hope it makes total sense. If you have any questions, you could definitely ask me. I am pretty much an open book when it comes to anything journaling or planning. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.